What's up, world? It's your boy DJ47. Thanks for tuning in to our YouTube page. If you like what you see, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to us as we hit you with new videos every week. 1. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's your boy DJ47. This is another episode of the WEW association with the One Shot Deal podcast. And today we're going to talk about Survivor Series 2020 with the farewell of the Phenom, the greatest, my opinion, wrestler of all time, The Undertaker. I had to do that. I had to get that out the way and all like that. But we're going to celebrate greatness today because that's exactly what we do right here on the One Shot Deal podcast and all. Let's talk Survivor Series.
You are now listening to the sounds of KDPG Radio. Keep the party going.
My opinion of the Survivor Series 2020. Now, we're going to get from match to match, right? And I'll express my feelings towards each match. But not to bring the negativity in the beginning, but this year's Survivor Series didn't feel like Survivor Series to me. I know a lot of people over the years complained about how the whole Raw invades SmackDown, SmackDown invades Raw, but I thought that brought the excitement and can't wait for Survivor Series. It was just something different than all the other pay-per-views. All the other pay-per-views, WrestleMania, you look for the marquee matches. Royal Rumble, you look for who's going to go to WrestleMania. And then you got SummerSlam, which is the hottest party of the summer. You look forward for things like that, right? And I thought Survivor Series was supposed to be something fun. I think it was exciting over the years, and there was momentum. Look at the whole Becky Lynch and Nia Jax that one year when she punched, Becky Lynch in the nose and broke her nose and all like that. This is something that you're going to remember and all like that. And these are things that we didn't see this year, I guess because a lot of people over the years complained about it didn't make any sense, but it doesn't always have to make sense and all like that. It was, I believe that Survivor Series sets the tone to what's to come in WrestleMania. It highlights different wrestlers and showcase what they can do. It can even start brand new rivals within the company. You could have had, Raw and SmackDown go back and forth to each show and cause chaos. And then in the pay-per-view, you could see how Raw wasn't getting along with each other or SmackDown not getting along with each other. And then you can start a feud that would lead into the upcoming weeks. But it didn't go that route. But there was good, and as well, there was bad, in my opinion, on the Survivor Series this year. So let's get to the first match, which the first match was the men versus, it's Raw versus SmackDown, the men version. And by all means, you listen to a lot of different wrestling podcasts, and a lot of them like to bury wrestling, especially the WWE. And this is not what this podcast is because, a lot of times when people complain, yes, they have legitimate arguments. But to all fairness, I like WWE. I think they have a lot of talent in WWE. Yes, can some of the storylines be better or last longer or make a little bit more sense? Yes, I do agree. But we can't take away from a lot of the talent that most people may say they don't have talent, but I believe they do. But we'll get through it with this whole Survivor Series. So the first one is the men's team, which led up to, it was basically AJ Styles from Raw, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Riddler versus Team SmackDown, which is Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, Corbett, Seth Rollins, and Otis. And all fairness, I did like the match because of the wrestlers in the match. I thought they were very good. Braun Strowman, I think, is just getting better. You know, he looks like he's getting more in shape, more comfortable in his role. And I mean, I believe if he plays the role that he's playing right now, I've seen the last couple of weeks, I'm talking about what things he was doing with Keith Lee. I hope that rival continues on, but it looks like it might be him and Sheamus. But I would like to see Keith Lee and Braun Strowman continue their feud because I think it's bringing out the best of them. Braun Strowman, back it up a little, like you had who I thought would have went far in this, basically gave up his spot, which is Seth Rollins, and said for the greatest good and let Sheamus just punt him right in the head and got the quick win to make SmackDown go down and re-strategize and all. You see Kevin Owens, yelling at Seth Rollins about, oh my God, And then you see Braun Strowman just come and just bulldoze the rest of the SmackDown squad. I mean, he knocked it was just crazy. I mean, he knocked down Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, and Otis in one shot. That was a powerhouse move right there, and that was crazy. I enjoyed the match because I like a lot of hard hitting, and I think that's definitely what it delivered and all like that. I thought Raw would have took it straight, a sweep. If anything, I thought Matt Riddle would have been the first to get eliminated. If anything, that's probably why they had him on the team. But on fairness, you got guys like Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Keith Lee. That's a powerhouse squad. And even to mention, I believe was the captain of the team, which they never really even announced who was the captain of any of the squad teams. AJ Styles, which, I mean, he lives up to his name phenomenal because, I mean, the man, he's great on the mic and he's great in the ring. He's basically flawless and like that. I hope he has another title run in his future and all. But moving on to the match, it was crazy, I want to see when like I said, you can start up new feuds and even look at potential matches for WrestleMania. Like, I personally would like to see AJ Styles versus Jey Uso. When I saw those two in the ring together, I was like, yes, I can see magic with that squad. Not the squad, with those two. I think they can have a great match, even a great feud and all like that. And I think that could be a WrestleMania match that would steal the show. You heard it first from DJ 47. All I'm saying is that.
It's another exclusive, only from DJ 47.
You heard it first. I said it. Jey Uso versus AJ Styles, WrestleMania 37. They steal the show. Holla at your boy. But anyway, back to the match over there. You got AJ Styles eliminates Kevin Owens after Owens stuns the whole Raw squad. Then my boy AJ Styles has come out of nowhere and just boom, knocked him out, took up Owens. Question: what the hell's going on with Owens? I mean, did he piss off the backstage? Does he have backstage heat or something? Because it feels like he's getting beat after beat after beat after beat. And then when he does win, it's not relevant. It doesn't matter. I think he's great talent, but I have no idea what's the next move for him, what direction he's going. I liked him way better as a heel and I hope he turns heel sometime soon, which doesn't seem like that. It may seem like another Rollins and Owens feud from what I saw tonight, but I could be wrong, and I hope they don't go that direction. Same thing with Rollins. I hope he picks it up and gets back on his groove. I wish that feud with the Mysterios, I mean, not to sidetrack from Survivor Series, let me just break that down. My writing skills, if it was up to me, I would have had Murphy back with Seth Rollins. And when Seth Rollins had his match with Rey Mysterio for the last time, I would have had Aaliyah turn on her family and join Murphy and Seth Rollins. Take it back to 1999 when Stephanie McMahon turned on her family, turned on her pops. Vince McMahon at 1999's Armageddon and just had a crooked smile, looked at Triple H, walked over, gave him a big hug, and laughed at the fallen Vince McMahon. That was brilliant, my opinion. And I wish the Aaliyah story had that same feeling. It would have been the shock heard around the world. It was too lovey-dovey with Murray getting the win or helping Rey Mysterio get the win. And they all hug and it's like la-di-da-di, blah, blah, blah. You know, too Disney for me. You know, I wanted some rated R crazy shit. Maybe a little bit of Attitude Era. And that's what I don't want. But I mean, I just had to bring that up. You know, I haven't been on here for a while, and you know, we're talking Survivor Series, but I just had to mention that. Just, you know, I had to let it out there. Some story. I like to tell some storylines. You know. So back to Survivor Series and the men's match. What else we got here? You know. I mean, Braun Strowman. You know, he's doing his thing. You know, AJ Styles. Then you got Rilla eliminates King Corbin. I guess Corbin can't get a win with Riddler. Riddle. It's basically Riddle. I'm apologizing if I'm beating your name to the ground and like that. I know you as Matt, you know. But then after that, Strowman takes out Otis. Keith Lee takes out Jey Uso, which Jey Uso did his thing. I mean, there was no way in hell he was going to beat Team Raw, but he was beating Team Raw. That was great. That was amazing. You know, shout outs to Jey Uso. That family tree right there, man. Can you adopt me? Do I look like a Uso? Huh, Us? Can I pass for Uso? I'm just saying. That family tree, you got The Rock, you got, well, they're not really related, but the Samoans in general, all big time. You got Rikishi, you had The Rock, you had Roman Reigns, you had the Wild Samoans, you had Jimmy Five Snooker. I mean, these are big names. High Chief, big names that did big things. I'm just saying the Samoans ain't nothing to play with. I'm just saying that's just my opinion, but I mean it's a lot of people's opinion as well. Have you seen the Dolphins quarterback? Damn, that island, Haku, the Island Brothers. I mean they were nothing to play with. All right, we're going on to the second match. It was New Day versus Street Profits. New Day comes out in full gear of war with their boy, Big E, you know, holding up the two titles and all, and walking them down. That was a good, you know, salute to them. Street Profits. great promo. I have to give them to that. When they did their little stick, and then at the end they came aggressive to let them know they're not here to play. That's the attitude I want to see. When I see more of that, it makes me want to see more of the Street Profit. You know, I'm all for fun, but get serious. You know, they came in and one of the best matches on the card tonight. I can tell you that. All four came with strength. I love how the New Day performed, a little hillish, but I liked it. I liked the whole Kofi Kingston grabbing the cup and drinking it in front of him, you know, playing around with them. It was like Big Brother versus Little Brother, like, you know, they're testing the waters and all. And I liked it. I liked the match. I knew the outcome. I know they would have went over. If you know who Kofi Kingston is, and Xavier Woods, and even Big E, they probably said, no, they got to go over. They probably told the backstage, the writers, Vince McMahon, Triple H, whoever was controlling the backstage area. Shout out to Devon Douglas, salute. I believe they said they got to go over. They gave him that match and all, and I would like to see a part 2 and maybe even a part 3. It can probably be just as good as the New Day versus the Usos, something like that. So I hopefully they find a way to have another match in the next couple of months and all. I love New Day taunting the Street Profit. I like how Street Profit came very aggressive and they didn't came to play. And usually I don't like the whole handshake, hug, and great job at the end, but I thought that, you know, in this certain occasion, it was good. You know, salute, high five, you know, you go back to Raw, you go out to SmackDown, keep doing your thing. That's what I want to see, keep running things. So salute. Salute to both teams, yo. Great job, you know. Then we have Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. And I'm going to just say this. Both Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn, I am a huge fan of both of these competitors. We all knew the outcome of that match. There's no way in hell. But both of them, and may I say, hurt business, hurt business, hurt business, hurt business, hurt business, because they kick out straight fire. That squad, yo, is lit. It is one of the best squads I have seen in a long time, and I'm glad they finally found a place for Shelton Benjamin, because that's a real talent. That for months, even years since he came back to the WWE, they don't know what to do with him, and I don't understand that. He's a great talent. He should be higher in the card, my opinion. Bobby Lashley should be champion. If not now, when? He is championship material. You know, I think they put him in the title match with Drew way too soon. We know Drew was going to lose that match, you know. He needs to be back in that title match. I'm glad he has a title, but and I wouldn't even mind the whole squad having titles. And I wouldn't mind if Naomi joins the squad. I'm just saying, Naomi, they need a female Naomi with the Hurt Business. Sounds like gold. I would have thought she would have came out when they had their little rivalry with the Retribution, but she didn't come out, and I thought that even that concept was lame, because you're trying to build two heelish teams, and it wouldn't work out better for either of them to lose. I'm glad that Hurt Business wasn't at the end of the road, that they were the one losing. They're the one who's doing the winning, getting the W's. But it is what it is. For most part, like, they're both good. Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley. So they put on an entertaining match. Was it the greatest match? No. Was it the best match? No. But Sami Zayn knows how to entertain, and that's exactly what he did. He was smart enough to know that he cannot physically match Bobby Lashley and make that believable. So he figures he goes out and does his little stick, his little comedy thing, and just talk, and he made it entertaining enough to where the match was doable, was watchable, and all like that. So I'll give that match a B, maybe a C plus B. It was very entertaining, so I give him that match. So where we at? We got Raw 1, Raw 2, SmackDown 1, Raw 3. We got Asuka versus Sasha Banks. I guess Sasha Banks goes over Asuka. Maybe because she's a new champion. Maybe because she's back as a face. Maybe Asuka always beats her. But I have to give this match a thumbs down. I thought Asuka should have went over. I had a feeling Sasha would have went over. Sasha Banks was going to go over. But I didn't like the outcome. Asuka's too good. Having interference or something like that. Carmella came through. Asuka, next rival, could have came through. I don't like. Listen, thing is, I like Sasha Banks, but the problem I have with Sasha Banks is she does not know how to sell. My opinion, or she's not a great seller. Maybe that's the right word to say, because my opinion is, people could nail, like the Hell in a Cell match, her versus Bayley, which I'm very big on Bayley, right? But beating the holy crap out of Sasha Banks. And when she makes her comeback, she's running around the ring. She's flying. She's doing her flying double knees and everything, and don't sell anything. Her back is not hurting. She's not crawling. She's not boosting up the energy. She's just back and ready to go. Like, let's go back to Hell in a Cell. Come on. Sticks, chairs, tables, cage. Bayley destroyed her, and she kept coming back like she was the Ultimate Warrior or something like that. I'm not a fan of Sasha Banks selling. I am a fan of hers. My skills is getting a little lazy. It's not really selling me as well. I miss Bayley as champion. I think Bayley's killing it. We'll see what Sasha Banks goes with this. I see the feud between Sasha Banks and Carmella. I don't see it. I don't see it interesting at all. I hope Asuka has a better opponent. My opinion, Sasha Banks never was able to retain successfully on a title defense. So what they do is they're just giving her, jobbers, if you want to call it that. Or I don't want to call Carmella a jobber, but I don't see Carmella beating Sasha. And I just see one weak match after another. Maybe throw in a good one here and there. Maybe get her ready for Bianca Belair, which would be a great opponent for her. I guess for WrestleMania, or maybe Royal Rumble or something like that. But I don't see Sasha. Sasha should have been champion a long time ago. I think she's not as good as she once was. I think, taking the title off Bayley to give it to Sasha wasn't the right move. I don't know, my opinion. Now, I know it's supposed to be about Survivor Series. I went to Hell in a Cell, and I may talked about other pay-per-views, other storylines. I have to because I haven't been here in a while. Let me tell you a quick story that I would have played out: the Sasha Banks versus Bayley. You could have took it to WrestleMania. I'm just saying. I said it, and it was all the way to what I said. I said that they're gonna have all the titles. Give Sasha Bayley, Sasha Banks the title, and she can lose the next month. It doesn't matter. But boom, they have all the titles. Then they slowly lose one after another. Boom, boom. I like the whole switch the rule where Bayley turned on Sasha, instead of Sasha turning on Bayley. Boom, destroy her, put her in a neck brace. She's gone. Had her disappear. Let her come back at Survivor Series. She shouldn't have been at Night of Champions. She shouldn't have fought Bayley at Hell in a Cell. You could have had her milk her injury and off TV all the way till November. This happened in September. You could have milked it all the way to November. The storyline went too quick. She could have reappeared on Survivor Series, beat the holy hell out of her there. Said, I want to fight you at TLC. The contract signing for the Hell in a Cell was well thought out. Bayley comes in there, refuses to sign the contract, what Banks did. They should have did the same thing, but led it to TLC. But what should have happened was Bayley doesn't sign the contract. So the match that we thought we were going to see at TLC doesn't happen because Bayley goes around and says, why do you feel like you deserve a title match? All you do is lose, 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 lose. I don't see you winning a title match. And having her screw her over time after time and running from Sasha, that leads all the way to the Royal Rumble. Sasha Banks goes in the Rumble. Sasha Banks goes over. She wins the Royal Rumble. Who's she going to challenge for the title? No question, it's Bayley. And then you start that feud of hatred back and forth from January leading up to WrestleMania, and bam, there goes your classic match, which that could have maybe be a main event, the women's main event. You rush it too early, and a great feud ends on SmackDown. Bayley challenged for a rematch for the title, and she loses, and that's it. Their years and years of feud ends on SmackDown. I have to take a moment because something's so great. You think The Rock versus Stone Cold? The Rock versus Stone Cold would have ended on SmackDown or Raw? Come on, that was the biggest boo. That was a no-no. You ended too soon, and that's just my opinion on that. They could have took it all the way to WrestleMania, have done it right. And back to Sasha Banks not selling. When she had the neck brace, maybe give her a real one, something that she couldn't move. She's like over there like, I'm like, girl, isn't your neck supposed to be hurting? How are you moving your neck, your hip? When you supposed to be like, when I see you, I would only get better. Like, you should hold it. If you feel like you're going to be moving, hold yourself from moving. You see how loose? Come on, man. Did you see how loose the neck brace was? And she was swerving from back and forth. You can't do that if your neck hurting. I'm just saying. Anyway, Asuka versus Sasha Banks. Sasha goes over with a cheap win. Asuka looks confused, which she should be, because you don't make her dominant when she does that. You get over on Sasha, and you lose just like that. I mean, come on. Asuka destroys both Sasha and Bayley, and she loses to Banks with a simple roll-up? Come on. WWE can do better than that. I give that an F. Not a D, not a C minus, an F, just because of that. You know, Asuka deserves more. I don't even want to talk more about this match. Let's move on to the next one like that, man. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Who we got in this match? For Raw, we had Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lana, Lacey Evans, and Peyton Royce versus Team SmackDown, which is Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Bayley, and Natalya. I knew the outcome. I knew Lana was going to go over. Here's the thing before I get into it. A lot of people, social media, crying, saying Lana's being punished and being put through tables and wanted her to quit because of her husband in AEW. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget, Rusev, which is now Nero, did not quit WWE. WWE released him, which I thought was a bad move, but whatever. Maybe there's more to the story behind the stage that we know of, right? But remember, WWE released him. He didn't leave. And so now you think that she's being punished because of him and whatever he's been saying on AEW. I think WWE can give two shits of what he's saying on AEW, right? I think her being put through tables is actually a ha-ha to you guys, to the fans who may think that, they're trying to screw her over and want her to quit and all blah, blah, blah because of the husband. Ladies and gentlemen, if WWE didn't want Lana, she would have fired. Sorry, everyone. WWE would have fired her when they fired her husband. What Bayley said? Ding dong. So I believe WWE did that to get the joke on you guys. Like, I'm going to put her through table. They're going to think, they're punishing her, But they give her the win to actually, what people don't realize, giving her a push, you're going on TV, you're getting TV time and all, and you're winning these. I know it's not the greatest move. I mean, she won the Battle Royal by disappearing, come back and kicking Natalya out. She won the Fatal 4 match by slipping in and getting the quick pin. And then it comes to now Survivor Series. I thought this match went over too long. I thought it was too long of a match for what it was. It was there was no one really special. Nobody stood out on the match. I know you'd probably say Bianca Belair did, but she really didn't do much in this match. If anyone stood out, if any of the ladies stood out, would have to be Peyton Royce. She stood out. Because the shocker, the first woman to get eliminated by Peyton Royce at that was the longest reigning female champion, Bayley. Wow. To me, that was a shocker. I hope there's something leading up to that, but that was a shocker to see Bayley be the first to go. Which, let's see who they had on the team again. They had Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Bayley loses first. I mean, maybe there's more to the story than that we all know about it, but that was the first thing. So basically, Peyton gets over and eliminates Bayley. Then Natalya goes ahead and eliminates Peyton Royce. I thought Peyton Royce was going to eliminate Natalya as well, but I guess that didn't happen. Lacey Evans eliminates Natalya, so you see how this goes. Baszler eliminates Ruby Riott. Liv Morgan eliminates Lacey Evans. Nia Jax eliminates Liv Morgan. Shannon Baszler gets disqualified. So it was basically a seesaw match. Ran over way too long. They told Lana, sit there and don't move, and she's crying, and they got a lipstick just all smeared over there. Basically, at the end of the day, Nia Jax and Bianca Belair both get counted out, so the solo survivor for Team Raw ends up being Lana. I predicted that. I knew she was going to go over, and most people probably thought she would have got pinned and been the first one to get out. I like Lana. I like the chronicles they did on her. She still needs a little work in the ring. She's still sloppy. But I like her. I think she brings value to the company. And she, if you take away the tears, like stop having her cry. Put her in the corner, do all this and that, and she overcomes all cool. But she doesn't gotta cry, man. I mean, this is wrestling. Come on, we're tough people, male and female. You're trying to change the way people look at women, and then you got women over in the corner crying. Then that shouldn't go on. But how I would have designed this match, I would have had Nia be the first one eliminated, because Nia has been talking the most trash out of anyone. Real cocky, real arrogant. I would have had the whole team SmackDown one by one do their finisher, and I would have had the weakest one, which is probably Liv Morgan, get the win. And I would have left it all the way to the end where it was Shayna Baszler and Lana, the last two, against let's say three SmackDown competitors, right? And now Shayna Baszler has to depend on Lana because she's trying to go out there and do everything she can, but then she gets weak and she has to depend on Lana. Then Lana comes in and surprises people. I think that's when she should have went in the ring. Not early on in the match. I think she should have went in when Shayna Baszler had no other options and he had to tag. And she comes in and shows us something, And I think Natalya should have been one of the last three. Maybe Natalya, Liv Morgan, and Ruby Riott, because you still want Lana to go over, but Lana's not beating Bianca Belair. Lana's not beating. Well, you could have had Sasha Banks Bayley in there, and Lana gets a surprise win. That's what should have happened. Natalya, Liv Morgan, and Bayley, my opinion. She tags Shayna Baszler, had no other choice. She tags Lana. Lana comes in and she goes one-on-one with Natalya because Natalya's been training with her and help her get through to make her look good. Natalya helps her look good, blah, blah, blah. She goes over on Natalya. She gets the quick roll-up and pin her. Natalya's shocked, like, what the hell? How the hell? Blah, blah, blah. And even Lana's shocked. Like, they're all shocked. Lana's shocked. She's shocked. Shayna Baszler's hurt, but like, oh shit, what the fuck? Next up is Liv Morgan in the ring. Liv Morgan and Lana going one-on-one, head-to-head, blah, blah, blah. Liv almost got the win, but then she tags on. Lana tags Shayna Baszler comes and chokes the shit out of Liv Morgan, knocked her out. Boom. Now it's Bayley versus Shayna Baszler. They go head to head, blah blah blah, this and this and that. Shayna Baszler beats the holy hell out of Bayley, and Lana, boom, tags in and picks up the scraps and sneaks in the win. Boom, Lana wins the shit. She wins it for Raw. But Shayna Baszler gets the DQ. I fast forward. Shayna Baszler does the chokehold like she did earlier tonight, and on Bianca Belair, but instead of Bianca Belair would have been Bayley. She didn't tap out. She got the 5 count. Shayna Baszler gets disqualified, leaves the ring. Bayley's choked out. She's laid out on the floor. Lana creeps in the ring. Boom, gets the 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm getting at. Backtrack, right? She gets the win. She wins. She celebrates. She's having a great ass time. It leads the storyline for tomorrow and Raw. I pinned the longest reigning, defending women's champion on SmackDown of Bayley. I won. I beat Natalya, the best of all time, had the most matches, the most wins, yada, yada, yada. She can go and brag about beating those two competitors. She got a sneak win off Natalya. She picked up the scratch, what Shayna Baszler did, and beat Bayley. Let her run with that. There's a storyline right there. She can go there and say, I won. And, Nia Jax, when you got pinned, you were the first one eliminated, not only on Team Raw, but out of all the competitors from Team SmackDown and Raw, you were the first one to get eliminated. She could have ran with that, right? And kept going and going and going, just like how Paul Heyman did with Brock Lesnar defeating Undertaker WrestleMania Street. My opinion, I think, but hey, that's just my opinion. But also, I thought it was way too long. I thought that match was way too long. There was not enough star power to have that run long. If anything, the men's match should have ran longer, or the tag team match between New Day and Street Profits, that should have went maybe a little bit longer. It should have been more of a back and forth, in my opinion. But it's just my opinion. That's my little catchphrase. I'm gonna think about this shit. Just my opinion, Say just my opinion. Okay, what we got next, man? Then they showed the preview for TLC, December 20th. Not my favorite pay-per-views. I think they should eliminate TLC and Hell in a Cell. I think, if anything, they should have King of the Ring back in June. I like Rumble. I like Mania. I like SummerSlam. I like Survivor Series. Sorry, I love these pay-per-views. And Money in the Bank. Royal Rumble. The winner of the Royal Rumble goes to the main event WrestleMania in the fight for any world title of their choosing. Money in the Bank. Whoever climbs and gets the briefcase has over a year to cash in to win any title of his choosing that he chooses to fight, whatever to win, blah, blah. Why not King of the Ring? Why not bring back King of the Ring in June, and then the winner of that match, the real King of the Ring, not, match after match every SmackDown. No, a real King of the Ring back in the days, 1994, 3, whatever it was. But fast forward, the winner gets a chance to fight any world title that he wants at SummerSlam. Now you look forward for the King of the Ring, which makes me more looking forward to SummerSlam. Other than SummerSlam being the hottest party of the summer and WrestleMania SummerSlam. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 Night of Champions as well. I'm for Night of Champions. Now, you had 6 pay-per-views. Correct me if I'm wrong. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, King of the Ring, Survivor Series, Night of Champions. So half the year, you got great pay-per-views that people are looking forward for. 2. Great pay-per-views people are looking forward to. Because it leads to something. Then you can throw your little whatever pay-per-views in. I would eliminate Hell in a Cell. I will eliminate TLC because you destroyed the Hell in a Cell, because now everybody has been in Hell in a Cell. You know, it should have been a very scary structure. Now, anybody's been in it. You have 3 freaking Hell in a Cells in one night. That's ridiculous. TLC, it looked so amateur. If you want to, I'll keep Extreme Rules, right? So that's 7. And there was another one, you know, I'll keep Extreme Rules, and there's another pay-per-view that I would keep, you know, going back in my head. Meanings. Oh, Elimination Chamber. That was the other one. Because you got Royal Rumble. The winner goes, there can only be one winner, right? So that winner goes and fights for whatever the title they chooses. Then you have Elimination Chamber, and whoever wins gets to do the same thing. Now, if the man or the women did not pick their titles, who they want to face at WrestleMania before or after Elimination Chamber, the winner of the Elimination Chamber, now they both can argue about whose title they're going to go for, if you can even lead them to that, right? And then you have a match like that you can go on. So that's 7 pay-per-views. Let's go back to it. Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, King of the Ring, SummerSlam, Night of Champions, Extreme Rules, Survivor Series. That's 9 great pay-per-views. 9. So all you have to do is figure out the next 3. Maybe Backlash, Judgment Day, Armageddon. Then you can have a throwaway pay-per-view. 1 or 2. That's 3. That's 3 throwaway pay-per-views. Now I don't have to worry about. Or you cannot. Or you can, instead of doing 12 a year, you eliminate to just 9 a year. Build the momentum. Like WrestleMania should be solo by itself. Just my opinion. As we go in to the final match, which is Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what wrestling is all about. Two supreme athletes that hit hard. Now, I watched this match, right, and they went old school on us, if anybody noticed. They went old school on us. They did, choke. I'm going all over the place, They went old school on us, They did a slow pace. They did headlocks, They slowed the pace down. They tried to tell the story. It was slow in the beginning, It picked up the pace when Drew got the momentum, but it was what it was supposed to be. Face goes over in the beginning. Heel slows down the pace. Takes over the match. Face makes the comeback. They go. That's when the speed picks up. And then now they all trying to get one off on each other. Heel goes over by cheating. Referee gets knocked out. by Roman, headbutting him because Drew hit him with the Claymore, rough night around. Jey Uso comes around. He gets hit. Thanks for coming. And Roman Reigns low blows him. Jey Uso comes back, gives him a super kick. And then, Roman Reigns puts his submission hold on him. Like the fighting face and champion Drew is, he wouldn't back down. He falls down, tries to come back, and then collapse. And not necessarily taps, but he passes out to the point that the referee has to call for the bell, and there you go. Roman had to go over. I would have been upset if he didn't. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, why Raw and SmackDown, in my opinion, tomorrow night will not even bother saying who won what. Raw won by 4-2 with SmackDown. I don't know if there's anything to celebrate, but that's what went over. Roman had to go over. Yes, Drew had a momentum, but he has nothing to look forward to on Raw unless it's another Randy Orton match. Roman is the head of the table. He's punking out his cousin. There's no way in hell that he was supposed to lose, because how do you sell that? You're supposed to be the leader. That's the story that we're selling. That's the story you got to run with. I don't care if he cheated or whatnot. He had to reign supreme because that's the story that's being told. Drew McIntyre's story is not being told. All he did was win a title match against Randy Orton because I believe in the back they said this would be a better seller. And due to the fact that if you looked at the pay-per-view with the title versus champion versus champion, best of the best, it was, face versus face, heel versus heel. And then it would have been Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns, heel versus heel. I guess they figured they wanted to be a face versus a heel. It would have made sense for the pay-per-view. It would have been more exciting, But Roman had to go over. I don't know if Randy Orton sneaks attacks and gets another win and gets 15 title reign and get closer to Ric Flair and John. I don't know if that's what they're trying to do. I don't know what the outcome of that's supposed to be, but good match. Drew, I like Drew. I don't think his promos is as good as people is making it out to be. He needs to cut all the happy-go-lucky and silliness and just happy to be here and fun. Cut that and be the killer that you are. And that would sell. I think people just like Drew just because they like him, so they give him a pass, but cut all that. Every time you, my opinion is every time you do that, I just think of 3MB. And I should not be thinking of 3MB. You are the world heavyweight champion. That's what I should be thinking. So cut off all the silly. That's my opinion. Just my opinion. So we come to the final of the farewell of one of the greatest wrestler, sports entertainer. I don't give a damn what you want to call him. The man who should have never have lost at WrestleMania. I am still upset to this day. If he was concussed during the Brock Lesnar, Brock should have beat the holy hell out of him and get DQ'd. Boo, whatever. If he wasn't right, it wasn't feeling good, he should have never competed at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. Or at least it would have been like 27-0. He should have never lost, my opinion. He is one of the greatest. So the first thing they do, they bring out a bunch of old, wrestlers and, to come celebrate this occasion. I don't know the point of that. I really don't. I thought, they would have stayed in the ring. He would have came, and he could have talked with them in the ring. I don't. If not, there was no point in. It was just. It just felt like wrestlers just trying to get one more shine in. Like it made no point. When Ric Flair, they did it for Ric Flair. Everyone's in the ring. They celebrated him. Yada yada yada. I had no point. I don't get. If anything, at the end, when they were like, "Thank you, Taker," with the audio, they could have had the wrestlers on the stage saying that, "Thank you, Taker." No reason for them to show up. I get Vince McMahon announcing him. I get that. Undertaker coming in. I mean, the crazy thing about that entrance tweaked up even more. Made me say, like, damn, man, he can't retire. This is a whole new entrance, man. He got to bring that to the table. Can't retire. I was just hoping AJ Styles came and attacked him and all, and then just led to another storyline. I know people probably would have been pissed, like, oh my God, you sold the whole farewell thing, and now it's leading to another match, and is he ever going to retire, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But, the kid in me was hoping. Paul Bearer. The hologram of Paul Bearer. The highlight of the whole Survivor Series. That gave me goosebumps. I enjoyed that. It was hearing the voice and just have him there. It was very emotional. I love that part. I love the 10 dongs as opposed to the 10 bells sounding. The speech was great. He will be missed. He is one of the greatest, if not the greatest. And it's a void that's being filled. But I've said this a couple of years ago. I would hate to see him go, but I respect the fact that he's going on his own terms and all. If he comes back for another match, I wouldn't be mad. Some people might, I wouldn't be mad. If he's gone for good, I want to be mad. He deserves it. Right into the sunset. This is the Survivor Series 2020 WEW association with the One Shot Deal podcast. I'm your host, DJ47. This is my first episode podcast of 67 episodes. I believe this is 66, sorry. 66 episodes that I've done, and I've done it with someone. Either I'm interviewing someone or I'm going back and forth with someone. This is my first one. Hopefully, you enjoy it because I might just be covering Raw. I'm about to go watch the Stone Cold interview with The Undertaker, and maybe we'll review that tomorrow night. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy DJ47. This is another episode of the WEW Association with the One Shot Deal podcast, and I'll see you on the next one. What's up, world? It's your boy DJ47. Thanks for tuning in to our YouTube page. If you like what you see, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to us as we hit you with new videos every week. 1.